The phone shattered against the wall, its screen fracturing into a web of cracks that mirrored the chaos in Elena's mind. She had just hung up on her adoptive mother, Margaret, after a screaming match that ended with the words no parent wants to hear. "I'm done pretending for you." In the quiet of her New York apartment, Elena sank to the floor, realizing that her confession wasn't just about her sexuality. It was the spark that would ignite the carefully constructed facade of their family, exposing secrets that 3 of her sisters had buried for years. Elena had always been the outspoken one among the 5 girls Margaret adopted over a decade ago. Margaret, a widowed social worker in her 50s, had built her life around saving children from broken homes in suburban Connecticut. She started with Sophia, the eldest at 12, rescued from a neglectful foster system. Then came twins Mia and Ava, 10-year-olds whose parents died in a car crash. Elena at 9 was next, pulled from an abusive household. And finally little Zoe, just 7, orphaned after a house fire. They were Margaret's miracle girls, a patchwork family stitched together by love, therapy sessions, and Sunday dinners. But beneath the surface, cracks had been forming since their teenage years. It started subtly. Sophia, now 28 and a successful lawyer in Boston, was the first to come out. At 22, during a family Thanksgiving, she announced she was dating a woman named Claire. Margaret's face had paled, but she forced a smile, muttering about God's plan and unconditional love. The family rallied awkwardly, toasting to Sophia's happiness while ignoring the tension. Elena watched it all, her own feelings bubbling up like a storm on the horizon. She had known since high school that she preferred girls, but the fear of disappointing Margaret, the woman who had given her everything, kept her silent. Now at 25, Elena couldn't hold it in anymore. Her job as a graphic designer in the city had introduced her to a vibrant queer community, where she met Jordan, a barista with a laugh that made Elena's heart race. Their relationship was new, tentative, but real. Telling Margaret felt like ripping off a bandage, but the call had devolved into accusations. "You're throwing away everything I've taught you," Margaret had cried. "What about the family? What about God?" Elena's response was sharp. "This is who I am, Mom. Deal with it." As Elena sat there, tears streaming, her phone buzzed with texts from her sisters. Sophia. "Call me. We need to talk." Mia. "What happened? Mom's hysterical." Ava. "Stay strong, sis." Zoe. "Love you no matter what." But it was the lack of a message from one that gnawed at her. No, wait, there it was from Ava again, but this time private. "We can't keep this up. Mia and I. We have to tell them soon." Elena's breath caught. The twins. They had confided in her last year, during a late-night confession over wine. Mia and Ava weren't just coming out as lesbians, they were in love. With each other. The revelation had hit Elena like a freight train. Adopted as twins but not biological, or so they thought. Margaret had always said they were fraternal twins from the same tragic accident, but doubts lingered. Their bond was intense, inseparable since childhood. As teens they shared everything. Clothes, secrets, dreams. But in college it evolved into something deeper, forbidden. They hid it, dating others publicly while stealing moments in private. Elena had sworn secrecy, torn between loyalty and horror. Was it incest? Love? Or both? Society would call it wrong, but to them it was the only truth they knew. Elena's mind raced back to their last family gathering, 6 months ago. Margaret had organized a reunion at the old house, complete with barbecue and games. Sophia brought Claire, and the air was thick with unspoken judgments from Margaret's church friends who dropped by. Zoe, now 20 and in art school, had been quiet, sketching in the corner. Elena noticed how Zoe's eyes lingered on a female neighbor, but dismissed it. Mia and Ava played the perfect sisters, laughing and linking arms, but Elena saw the stolen glances, the brush of hands that lasted too long. That night, after everyone retired, Elena confronted the twins in the backyard. "This can't go on," she whispered. "If Mom finds out." Mia, the bolder one, snapped back. "You think we don't know? But we can't stop. It's us against the world." Ava, softer, added, "We're not hurting anyone. Why can't love just be love?" Elena left that conversation unsettled, promising to keep quiet but urging them to seek therapy. Now, with her own coming out blowing up, she feared the domino effect. The next day, Elena drove back to Connecticut, the 2-hour trip feeling eternal. Margaret's house loomed like a judgment hall, its white picket fence a lie of normalcy. As she pulled up, Sophia's car was already there. Inside, the living room was a war zone of emotions. Margaret sat red-eyed on the couch, Bible in hand. Sophia paced, Claire by her side. "Elena's here," Sophia announced, hugging her tightly. Margaret looked up, her voice breaking. "Why, Elena? I raised you better." Elena knelt before her. "Mom, this isn't about you. It's me. I love women. And I love you." The words hung heavy. Sophia chimed in. "Mom, you accepted me. Why not her?" Margaret sighed. "It's not that simple. The church, the community, they'll talk. And what about the others? Mia, Ava, Zoe, they look up to you." Elena's heart pounded. She glanced at Sophia, who knew nothing of the twins' secret. This was the tipping point. If she pushed, everything could unravel. But silence felt like betrayal. "Mom," Elena began, "there's more you need to know about our family." Margaret's eyes widened, her grip on the Bible tightening like a lifeline. "What do you mean, more?" Elena hesitated, the weight of the twins' secret pressing down. Sophia shot her a confused look, but Elena pressed on. "Not now. Let's just talk about me first." She couldn't drop that bomb yet. Not without Mia and Ava here. The room fell into an uneasy truce, with Margaret murmuring prayers and Sophia suggesting family counseling. Elena nodded, but inside turmoil brewed. She texted the twins. "Come home. It's time." By evening, Mia and Ava arrived, their faces masks of composure. Zoe followed shortly after, her art portfolio slung over her shoulder like armor. The 5 sisters gathered in the kitchen, Margaret at the head of the table like a judge. "We're all here," Margaret said, her voice steady but strained. "Elena, you started this. Explain." Elena took a deep breath. "I'm gay, Mom. Lesbian. Whatever you want to call it. I've known for years, but I hid it because I didn't want to hurt you." Margaret's tears flowed freely now. "Hurt me? This hurts God, Elena. The Bible says." Sophia interrupted. "Mom, the Bible says a lot of things. But love is love." The argument escalated, voices overlapping in a cacophony of hurt and defense. Mia and Ava exchanged glances, their hands brushing under the table. A secret signal Elena caught. Zoe, usually the peacemaker, spoke up. What if I'm like that too?" The room froze. Zoe, the baby of the family, blushed furiously. "I've been seeing someone. A girl from school. Her name's Riley." Margaret gasped, clutching her chest. "Not you too, Zoe. This can't be happening." The confessions poured out like a dam breaking. Sophia shared how her relationship with Claire had faced backlash from colleagues, forcing her to switch firms. Elena talked about the isolation of hiding in the city. Zoe admitted to bullying in high school for acting different. But the twins remained silent, their secret a ticking bomb. That night, as the house quieted, Elena cornered Mia and Ava in their old room. "You have to tell her. With all of us coming out, it'll look like we're ganging up but hiding this. It's worse." Mia shook her head. "You don't get it. We're not just gay, we're in love. People will say it's sick." Ava added, tears in her eyes. "We tried to stop. Dated guys, even each other's exes to cover. But it's always been us." Elena paced, her mind reeling. Ethically, it was murky. They weren't blood-related. Margaret had confirmed that years ago, showing adoption papers. But society saw them as sisters. The taboo was real. What if Mom disowns you? Or worse, reports it? Mia laughed bitterly. "Reports what? We're adults. Consenting. But yeah, the price is high." The next morning brought confrontation. Margaret, after a sleepless night, called a family meeting. "I love you all," she said. "But it's against everything I believe." She quoted scriptures, pleading for them to choose right. Sophia stormed out, Claire in tow. Zoe cried. Elena argued back. "Mom, your love can't be conditional." But it was Ava who cracked first. "Mom, there's something else." All eyes turned. Ava glanced at Mia, who nodded. "Mia and we're together. As a couple." The silence was deafening. Margaret's face drained of color. "What? You're sisters?" Mia interjected. "Adopted sisters." Not blood. We've loved each other since we were kids. Zoe gasped. Sophia returned just in time to hear, her jaw dropping. Margaret stood, trembling. This is wrong. Immoral. Get out. The twins recoiled as if slapped. Elena tried to mediate. Mom listened to them. But Margaret was unyielding. You've betrayed this family. Mia and Ava grabbed their bags, Ava whispering to Elena. We knew the cost. As they left, the door slamming echoed like a finality. In the aftermath, the house felt fractured. Zoe retreated to her room, sketching furiously. Images of broken hearts and chained figures. Sophia called a lawyer friend, muttering about legal rights. Elena stayed with Margaret, who collapsed into sobs. How did I fail you all? Elena held her. You didn't. We just are who we are. Days turned to weeks. The twins moved in together in a small apartment in Hartford, cutting off contact with Margaret. Elena visited them, bearing messages of tentative olive branches, but pride held firm. She called us abominations, Mia said bitterly. Ava, ever the optimist, added, maybe time will heal. But Elena saw the toll. Mia's job as a teacher was at risk if rumors spread. Ava's therapy sessions increased. Meanwhile, Zoe's relationship with Riley blossomed, but not without shadows. At art school, whispers followed her. Her whole family's queer? She confided in Elena. I feel guilty. Like I added to Mom's pain. Elena reassured her, but inwardly questioned her own role. Had her coming out forced the others' hands? Sophia, the anchor, organized group chats excluding Margaret. We need to support each other, she said. But tensions simmered. During one call, Zoe asked, Mia, Ava, is it really love? Or just dependency? Mia hung up angrily. The secret bond was tearing them apart. Months passed, and the fracture deepened into a chasm. Margaret, isolated in her home, turned to her church for solace. The pastor preached forgiveness, but the congregation's judgmental stares made her question everything. She attended support groups for parents of LGBTQ+ children, her heart warring between faith and family. One night she called Elena. I miss them. All of you. Elena, caught between loyalties, urged, reach out. Apologize. But apologies were hard. Mia and Ava's relationship faced external pressures. At work, Mia overheard colleagues gossiping after a social media post slipped. Ava's arm around her in a photo captioned, my everything. The school principal called her in. We value diversity, but personal lives affect reputation. Mia quit before she was fired, taking a lower-paying job at a nonprofit. Ava, a nurse, faced similar scrutiny from patients' families. Is that your sister or? The question stung, forcing them to lie or deflect. Elena watched helplessly. Her own life with Jordan was thriving. They moved in together, decorating their apartment with pride flags and family photos minus the drama. But guilt gnawed. She visited Margaret weekly, pushing for reconciliation. They're happy, Mom. Isn't that what matters? Margaret shook her head. Happiness at what cost? Eternity. Zoe, meanwhile, hit a breaking point. Riley proposed a trip to meet her parents, but Zoe hesitated. My family's a mess. The argument escalated. You can't hide forever. Zoe ended it, heartbroken, realizing her family's chaos had infected her own love. She confronted Elena. This is because of Mia and Ava. Their bond is poisoning us all. Elena defended. It's not their fault society sucks. The turning point came at Christmas. Sophia insisted on a neutral gathering at her Boston home. Everyone attended except Margaret, who declined. The atmosphere was tense. Mia and Ava arrived hand in hand, defiant. Zoe avoided them. Over dinner, old wounds reopened. You two think you're special? Zoe snapped. Your love is selfish. Look what it's done to Mom. Mia retorted. Our love existed before any of this. You're just scared. The fight peaked when Sophia revealed she'd been researching. Legally, you're fine. But emotionally, have you considered therapy for codependency? Ava broke down. We have. But therapists say if we're not related, it's okay. Elena mediated. Enough. We're family. Act like it. Post-dinner, the sisters shared stories. Sophia talked about losing friends after coming out. Zoe admitted her fear of commitment stemmed from watching Margaret's marriage end in widowhood. Mia and Ava confessed their first kiss at 16, during a thunderstorm when fear drew them closer. It felt right, Mia said. But now the price is losing you all. Elena proposed a plan. We confront Mom together. Show her we're united. Reluctantly, they agreed. The drive to Connecticut was silent, each sister lost in thought. Margaret opened the door, surprise etching her face. What is this? They filed in a united front. Elena spoke first. Mom, we're all queer. Sophia, me, Zoe, and the twins. They're a couple. Margaret sank into a chair. I know. I've known for months. Gasps echoed. How? Ava asked. Margaret sighed. A mother knows. The way you look at each other. I prayed it wasn't true. The revelations poured. Margaret admitted her own struggles. Raised in a strict Catholic home, she married young to escape, only to lose her husband early. Adopting the girls was her redemption. But this challenges my faith. Sophia asked. Can faith evolve? Tears flowed as Margaret hugged each one. I'm trying. But healing wasn't instant. Mia and Ava's bond remained a sore point. Margaret insisted on boundaries. Live your lives but don't flaunt it here. The twins nodded but resentment lingered. Zoe reconciled with Riley, vowing honesty. Elena felt a fragile peace. Yet shadows loomed. A local newspaper caught wind of the queer adoptive family, publishing an article that twisted facts. Sisters in sin, the headline screamed. Margaret's church shunned her. Job offers dried up for some. Elena's design firm lost a conservative client. In the midst of backlash, the sisters bonded deeper. They attended pride events, therapy together. But the cost was evident. Strained finances, lost relationships, emotional scars. Mia whispered to Ava one night. Was it worth it? Ava replied. You are. The article's fallout was swift and brutal. Margaret's neighbors whispered, her mailbox filled with hate mail. She considered selling the house, moving to a more accepting town. I built this life for you girls, she told Elena over coffee. Now it's crumbling. Elena squeezed her hand. We'll rebuild. Together. For Mia and Ava, the exposure was devastating. Ava's hospital placed her on leave after complaints. Conflict of interest, they claimed vaguely. Mia's nonprofit stood by her. But funding cuts followed donor pullouts. They debated going public. Maybe an interview to tell our side. But Elena advised caution. It could make it worse. Zoe, inspired by the chaos, channeled it into art. Her series Fractured Bonds depicted abstract figures intertwined in pain and passion. It gained traction in galleries, but critics labeled it controversial. Riley supported her, their relationship strengthening through adversity. This made us real, Zoe said. Sophia, ever the strategist, sued the newspaper for defamation. They implied incest without proof. The case dragged on, draining resources but uniting the family in purpose. During depositions, secrets surfaced. Margaret testified about the adoptions. Mia and Ava were from different families, placed together as twins by the agency for convenience. It confirmed no blood tie, but the damage was done. Elena faced her own trials. Jordan proposed, a quiet moment in Central Park. Yes, Elena said, but joy was tempered by family drama. Planning the wedding became a minefield. Invite Margaret? The twins? Everyone, Elena decided. Or no one. The wedding day arrived. A small ceremony in a Brooklyn garden. Margaret attended, stiff but present. She walked Elena down the aisle, whispering, I'm proud despite everything. The twins served as bridesmaids, their bond evident but subdued. Zoe captured photos, Riley by her side. Sophia toasted. To love in all forms. But peace was fleeting. Post-wedding, a betrayal emerged. Zoe, in a drunken confession to Riley, revealed she tipped off the newspaper anonymously. I was angry at Mia and Ava. Thought exposure would force them apart. Riley, horrified, urged her to confess. Zoe did, at the next family dinner. It was me. I'm sorry. The room exploded. Mia lunged forward. You ruined our lives. Ava held her back, tears streaming. Margaret gasped. Zoe, how could you? Elena felt betrayed. We trusted you. Zoe sobbed. I was jealous. You all had your loves and I felt like the outsider. Their bond. It's unnatural to me. Sophia mediated. This is rock bottom. We forgive or we fall apart. Forgiveness came slowly. Therapy sessions became mandatory. Zoe cut ties with Riley temporarily, focusing on self-reflection. I projected my insecurities, she admitted. Mia and Ava, scarred, considered moving west for a fresh start. Connecticut holds too much pain, Mia said. Margaret, in a moment of awakening, left her church. Faith shouldn't divide, she declared, joining a progressive group. She volunteered at LGBTQ+ centers, advocating for adoptive families. The shift surprised everyone but healed wounds. Elena, now married, balanced her new life with family duties. She wrote a blog anonymously, sharing their story to help others. Comments flooded, support, hate, questions. It sparked debates on ethics of love in adoptive families. As spring bloomed, the sisters gathered for Margaret's birthday. Laughter returned, tentative but genuine. Mia and Ava announced their engagement. We're doing this our way. Cheers erupted, even from Zoe. Margaret smiled. Bless you girls. But undercurrents remained. Elena wondered if true acceptance was possible. Society's gaze lingered, judging. The price of authenticity. Lost jobs, broken trust, emotional exhaustion. Yet the bond held. Years crept by, the family saga evolving into a tapestry of resilience and regret. Elena and Jordan adopted a child of their own, a baby girl named Hope, symbolizing renewal. Margaret doted on her granddaughter, her views softened by time and therapy. I was wrong to judge, she confessed one afternoon. Love wins. Mia and Ava married quietly in California, away from prying eyes. Their life stabilized. New jobs, a cozy home, therapy ongoing. But scars showed in quiet moments. Ava's nightmares of rejection, Mia's guarded heart. They volunteered for queer youth, turning pain into purpose. Our story helps others, Ava said. Zoe's art career soared. Her work exhibited nationwide. She reunited with Riley, marrying in a vibrant ceremony. I learned forgiveness starts within, she told Elena. But the betrayal lingered in family dynamics. Subtle distances, unspoken resentments. Sophia and Claire built a family too, with 2 kids via surrogacy. Sophia's law practice specialized in LGBTQ+ rights, fighting cases like theirs. We paid the price so others don't have to, she reflected. Yet gatherings revealed fractures. At Hope's first birthday, tensions flared. Zoe commented on Mia and Ava's closeness. Still so enmeshed. Mia snapped. Jealous again? Margaret intervened. Enough. We've come far. Elena pondered the journey. From her shocking coming out to the twins' revelation, Zoe's betrayal and Margaret's transformation. Each decision carried a cost. Lost innocence, strained bonds, societal backlash. But also gains. Authenticity, deeper connections, advocacy. One evening, as the sun set over the old house, now a hub for queer support groups, Elena gathered her sisters. We've survived. But at what price? They shared stories. Margaret's lost faith community, the twins' career setbacks, Zoe's guilt, Sophia's burnout, Elena's anxiety. The conversation turned philosophical. Was our love worth the pain? Ava asked. Mia held her. Yes. It made us who we are. Zoe disagreed. Some prices are too high. I almost lost everything. Sophia balanced. Love challenges norms. That's progress. Margaret, listening, added. I paid too, my beliefs shattered. But I gained real family. Elena nodded, realizing the true bond was their shared struggle. As they parted, Elena whispered to Jordan. It's never easy, but in the quiet, hope flickered. In the end, was their pursuit of authentic love a moral triumph? Or did the collateral damage to family and society make it a selfish indulgence?